Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here's what we have in the bulletin. 2 more arrests made in NCB Phishing scam investigation. Expert slams Finance Minister's budget approach amid U.S. policy shifts. And later in sports, National Stadium downgraded after recertification. Now the details. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency MOCA arrested 2 persons in connection with a phishing scam at the National Commercial Bank. As you'll hear in this report, the suspects are believed to be part of an organized criminal syndicate.
Agents from the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency MOCA, along with officers from the St. Andrew North Police and the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Specialized Operations Unit, conducted targeted operations in Portmore, St. Catherine and Haverdale in St. Andrew around 5 Wednesday morning. Both locations were thoroughly searched, resulting in the recovery of several evidentiary items.
MOCA has been investigating for some time now a $47 million online banking scam involving customers at NCB. This morning, our agents went to 2 locations, one in Portmore and one in Havendale, and arrested 2 more suspects linked to that crime. We also seized a number of evidentiary items which we believe will aid in our ongoing investigations. Both men are believed to be part of an organized criminal syndicate responsible for the scam. They have been taken into custody for questioning, and we expect that charges will be laid later today or possibly later this week.
The investigation is in relation to the ongoing phishing scam at the National Commercial Bank.
Our investigations suggest that between April and June 2022, over $47 million were phished from 16 accounts held at the National Commercial Bank and transferred to a number of beneficiaries' accounts, which have since been withdrawn or transferred to other banks. The 2 men who were arrested this morning are believed to be deeply connected to that effort.
MOCA is urging members of the public to remain vigilant in their online activities.
This morning's arrest is a demonstration of the ongoing work that MOCA is doing to track down the persons responsible for this major cybercrime. It highlights our commitment to the task and once again emphasizes the importance of partnerships and collaboration between MOCA and its law enforcement partners, who are equally committed to dismantling organized criminal networks and tackling such sophisticated cybercrimes. We also want to encourage members of the public to remain vigilant in their online activities and to report any suspicious activities involving financial transactions to our tip line at 888-MOCA-TIP.
Raquel Porto for TVJ News.
One financial expert believes Finance Minister Favour Williams missed the mark when she opened the budget debate in Parliament on Tuesday. Given the current developments in the United States, he says she needed to have articulated the government's plan of action to address the possible ripple effects. No new taxes and a reduction in GCT on electricity were some of the key announcements made by Finance Minister Favour Williams as she opened the budget debate on Tuesday. However, while Jamaicans welcomed the news, financial and economic commentator Ralston Hammond says Mrs. Williams should have taken a different approach given the current developments in the United States with the new Trump administration.
If I was presenting the budget at this particular point in time, within the current global context, I'd start off by saying, Madam Speaker, Jamaica is a small open economy, $25 billion operating within the context of a larger international economy, $105 trillion, dominated by the Republic of the United States of America with $29.5 trillion, the European Union with $19 trillion, China with $18 trillion, and Germany with $5 trillion. What we're seeing is a high level of volatility because of the policies being pursued by the new President of the Republic of the United States of America.
Mr. Hammond says that with the United States being a major trading partner for Jamaica, more attention should have been given to developments there, especially with news of tariffs coming out of that country.
The tariff war that is being fought by the Republic of the United States of America and all of these countries will lead to an acceleration in inflation. The Federal Reserve Board, which is the American and the world's most powerful independent central bank, now says that it is on hold in terms of reducing interest rates indefinitely. This places a floor on what the local central bank can do in terms of reducing interest rates, right? And that is going to impact on our economy, which is right now in a recession.
Instead, he feels more emphasis should have been placed on the agriculture sector and how to leverage it as the fundamental area to strengthen the economy.
The Prime Minister says that we are pivoting from stability to growth, and I am going to take this opportunity to outline a growth strategy. One of the first things we are going to do, Madam Speaker, is to look at agriculture, because we now saw that given the latest trade numbers, the country's food and consumer goods import bill was more than our total exports for the first 10 months of last year. Our food and consumer goods import bill was $1.69 trillion, while our total exports were only $1.5 billion. So therefore means that we're going to outline a strategy to deal with the agricultural sector.
Meanwhile, public sector workers are relieved after Mrs. Williams announced wages will no longer be capped as a percentage of the country's gross domestic product, GDP. Instead of imposing a wage cap, the focus will shift to performance-based pay and increase in productivity. President of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, St. Patrice Ennis, welcomed the news.
I'm glad the minister has laid out what would be the guiding principles with respect to how wage is treated, and that we have moved away from that policy, and why we have moved away from it with respect to the fact that we had high attrition with certain skill sets within the public sector, and that we, for years of underpayment, and they have moved away in terms of allowing the public sector, you know, just what we went through, the public sector review / classification or restructuring, you know, if you will. We did that to move away from such policies such as wage freeze, such as wage constraint. And so what will now be guiding us is you know, debt to GDP ratio and so on.
Industry, Investments and Commerce Minister Orbin Hill is challenging craft vendors to think outside of the box. Speaking at a recent forum, he noted that the industry has the potential to drive investment, increase exports and boost profits. Craft markets in Jamaica showcase incredible talent, but the industry has the potential to generate significantly more income. Industry, Investment and Commerce Minister Orbin Hill says the craft business has the potential to lift many Jamaicans out of poverty.
I am one of those government people that want to and encourage profits. I am part of an administration, the Andrew Holness administration, that really supports business and want business to be successful. If you're not successful, you can't employ people, you can't give bonus, you can't expand, you can't export to take markets overseas. All that is vital.
Mr. Hill says craft vendors should also push for overseas markets, as there is a growing demand for their products in various places globally.
There are people who can set up Jamaican companies with their overseas investment. We have a large room before we start get any attraction. Come invest in Jamaica. Craft people, find the money from your family or friends. Expand your business, because we can export to where we are not the target, or region, and even overseas. Look for opportunities where there are difficulties.
However, he says that quality pieces are what vendors should strive to sell, as this is what makes the products more attractive and unique in the market.
See, I went to Montego Bay, the craft market in Montego Bay last week, and I saw a man crafting using lignum vitae. Lignum vitae is one of the hardest woods you can get, but when you craft it and polish it, it is exquisite. I mean, really, bronze and all them things can hardly come close to our lignum vitae. So I'm going to invite a lot more lignum vitae people to do the craft, to do images that people want to buy. Some of them you may have to get the intellectual property from the owners.
There are safety concerns as pipelines are being laid along the AGR Byfield Highway is hindering motorists. The National Water Commission says the project, which started about a year ago, is facing delays. Antonia Atkinson reports.
Stockpiles of debris from trench digging have been left on the soft shoulder of the AGR Byfield Highway in St. Anne. This has led to several accidents. The most recent involved a KFC truck that ran into a ditch filled with debris. There was also another crash near Key Largo Beach in St. Anne's Bay. Commanding Officer for St. Anne, SSP Dwight Powell, has concerns.
I also spoke with my partners from the National Work Agency. And so I'm confident, Mr. Hines, that, they are, as soon as the project is complete, they'll be able to replace those trenches and to remove those debris from the sidewalk.
In response, National Water Commission Regional Manager Richard Williams, in a statement, explains the complexities involved in completing the work. He noted that the delay is mainly due to coordinating with other stakeholders like Flow and NWA to avoid damaging existing infrastructure. He added that the pipeline laying project is approximately 85% complete, with their focus now on completing the road and bridge crossings. Motorists are being urged to remain cautious while traveling through the area. Antonia Atkinson, TVJ News.
The Barking Lodge Primary and Infant School in St. Thomas now has an infant department. It was built at a cost of $41 million. The project saw the transformation of the teacher's cottage to 2 modern classrooms. Chief Executive Officer of the Chaste Fund, Billy Heaven, highlights the need for a stronger early childhood sector.
We recognize that a child's formative years, they're perhaps the most crucial in shaping their lifelong learning and success. And that is why, since our inception, we have worked tirelessly to enhance early childhood development right across the length and breadth of Jamaica in order to ensure that our youngest minds have access to safe, nurturing, and well-equipped learning environment.
Member of Parliament for St. Thomas Eastern, Dr. Michelle Charles, also stressed the project's significance.
Has not only expanded and renovated the teacher's cottage into a fully equipped infant apartment, but has also provided the necessary resources to create a safe, stimulating, and nurturing environment for our youngest leaders.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Finance Minister Favour Williams announced that the government will offer a tax break to members of the MSME sector by raising the revenue threshold for GCT payments from $10 million to $15 million. She made this announcement during her maiden budget presentation in Parliament on Tuesday. The MSME sector has faced significant challenges, including the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, a high interest rate environment, rising criminality, and slow economic growth. As a result, over 40 businesses in the sector have already declared bankruptcy. Further afield, new 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports in the U.S. start today, potentially hiking some prices for American consumers. U.S. businesses have to pay the tariffs when they import the metals. The cost to them could be substantial based on Commerce Department statistics. They show the U.S. imported more than $58 billion worth of aluminum, steel, and iron last year. Many economists predict companies will pass on part or all of the added cost to consumers. Auto prices could go up, and home builders say tariffs have shaken their industry already. Prices could rise for appliances, machinery, infrastructure, medical devices, power lines, beverage cans, and more. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Janella Precious.
And we now have a preview of Wednesday's health report. In this evening's health report, we look at dental fillings.
I tell my patients, visit your dentist regularly, because if a cavity is very early and just in enamel, you don't need a filling. I can recommend an increased dose of fluoride in the toothpaste or in the mouthwash, and that cavity will stay where it is and it won't progress.
That's the health report in primetime news at 7. And now for today's healthy living tip. Brush and floss at least twice a day. Avoid eating sugary foods that promote tooth decay. Don't drink sodas or other sugary beverages. Avoid hard candies and chew gum that contain sugar. And see your dentist for regular checkups. Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the St. Lucia government, in partnership with the International Organization for Migration (IOM), is working on a national migration policy to align with the international best practices and support national development strategies. The policy will address migration's socio-economic impact, including labor markets, economic growth, and diaspora engagement, and will ensure St. Lucia's commitment to regional and international agreements such as the Global Compact for Migration. On the international scene, the U.S. Department of Education is planning to cut about half of its workforce as the Trump administration works to slash the size of the federal government. The mass layoff will impact nearly 2,100 people who are set to be placed on leave from March 21. Trump has long sought to eliminate the department, a long-cherished goal of some conservatives, but such an action would require approval by Congress. The department, which has an annual budget of around $238 billion, employs more than 4,000 people. Established in 1979, it oversees funding for public schools, administers student loans, and runs programs that help low-income students. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Anthony Atkinson, TVJ News.
We take another break. Sports is next.